My new reality started when I found out that I was following Terry Bradshaw and preceding lunch. So for those of you who have stayed with me, thank you very much. My name is Karl Schoemer and I am with Vision Quest. A little background on myself and Vision Quest as we start this morning. I have had the opportunity over the course of the last 14 or 15 years to literally travel around the world. Work with a lot of groups, organizations, associations, and individuals undergoing change. As a result of that experience, I've really been able to see some things that organizations do well during times of change. Also been able to see some things that organizations don't do very well during times of change. The result of that experience is a base of knowledge, if you will, about managing the change process, be it from an individual standpoint or an organizational standpoint, which is really where the content of this presentation comes from, that experience. The presentation itself, to give you some background on it, ordinarily is about 10 or 12 hours worth of content crammed into a 6-hour workshop. Today we're going to do it in less than 45 minutes. They said this was the quick route. We want to make it as much like your daily workload as possible. A lot to cover in a very short period of time, so I'm going to go very, very fast. But I will tell you that the speed of change is part of the message in terms of the new reality. So that you're clear on my role today, I am not here this morning necessarily to make you happy. So we're clear. Not my job. I usually lose 200 or 300 more people right there. What I am here to do is to make you think, challenge your thinking, interrupt your thinking, try and get you to see things from a little different perspective, a little different point of view. You may not agree with everything that I say this morning, and believe me, based on previous presentations I've done in this industry, I think it's safe to say you won't agree with everything that I say today. That's okay. What I ask you to do is at least think about what we're talking about. Think about trying to see things from a little different perspective or a little different point of view. We are going to spend time this morning talking about change, but change from a couple of different perspectives. First, what are some ideas, some suggestions, or some tools that you might be able to use to move yourself through the change process more quickly, easily, or effectively? And then secondly, what are some ideas, suggestions, or tools you might be able to use to help others move themselves through the change process more quickly, easily, or effectively? And in fact, what I learned this morning sitting in on the panel discussion is, I believe that this whole idea of change and the dynamics of change and creating a more change-adaptive culture are underlying in terms of everything else you're trying to accomplish. Changing the nature of relationships, changing the nature of partnerships, changing the nature of roles and responsibilities. So that's what we're going to talk about this morning. As I said, I've had the opportunity for over a decade to work with individuals and organizations in terms of managing change. But honestly, in the last 2 years or so, I've really changed my message about change. I think you manage change. I think you manage change every single day. We're past the point of managing change. I think we're at the point today where we actually have to seize change and make it part of our competitive advantage. Actually take advantage of all of the opportunities that are being brought to us on a day-to-day basis as a result of all this change. Now that's a little different mindset than we just need to get through it. As soon as the dust settles, well, then all of this is over. The dust isn't going to settle, and it's not going to be over. How in that kind of environment then do you position yourself or help others position themselves to actually take advantage of all of the opportunities that are being brought to us? That's the context within which we'll talk about change today. You know, we talk about it generically, bring it a little closer to home. I'm curious, just in the last year or two within your organizations, what are some things that you have seen change? Seen any changes in structure? Any restructurings anywhere? Any restructuring? How about restructurings? Technology, processes, systems, roles, responsibilities. How about the pace? Seen the pace change in the last year or two? Slower, more relaxed? A little faster pace. How about the expectations of you? Seen those change in the last year or two? Less? I know the answer to this one. More. Bless you, but you have all the resources you need right there at your fingertips, right? I mean, no. So now you got more to do, less time to do it, and less resources to do it. Accurate so far? How about this one? Mood, attitude, or environment. Seen that one change in the last year or two? Up and down is yes, side to side is no. From what to what? Mood, attitude, or environment. From what to what? Say it again. From what to what? Somewhat stable to less so? Somewhat secure to less secure? Somewhat known to less known? I've heard good to bad, bad to worse. Actually, a group I did last week said worse to worser. I don't know. All I know is I wouldn't want to work there. It depends on the day, it depends on the change, it depends on the email or the announcement. Last question in this line then. Why? All the changes you are experiencing inside your organizations, changes in structure, changes in process, and changes in roles and responsibilities and expectations and pace, all the changes you are experiencing inside your organizations are being driven from where? Where are they coming from? Outside the organization? Marketplace? Consumers? Patients? Regulators? We know that, and we know that intuitively, but that is a good place to start this morning. Because honestly, I work with a lot of organizations filled with a lot of people walking around every single day saying things like, you know, my manager is just forcing me to change too fast.